Hey, Ryan, a year ago, a lot of your guys had never been in the playoffs before. Obviously, you're Super Bowl champs and all of that. What do you think you learned from that experience as a team going through that?
Yeah, I think coming in, last year, hardly anybody on the team had been in a playoffs situation. You learn a lot very quickly, and whether that be the added pressure or anything like that. But I think from last year to this year, at least from the way I feel, everybody's a lot more calm and not as emotionally charged as we were last year, which I think is a good thing. But obviously, coming into the game, getting our emotions up and ready to go is going to be huge.
Thanks.
We'll go to Greg Auman.
Hey, Ryan, we got to see they had Wirfs mic'd up on Sunday during the game and got to see kind of the confidence that he plays with, talking to you guys on the sidelines during games. I know he's just in his second year, but just want to ask you how reliable he's shown himself to be as part of the line that's played so well this year.
Yeah, I think the proof's in the pudding with him. He's confident. He plays very technical style of football. He's a freak. That's just what he is. He came in last year as a rookie. I know. I remember doing an interview and everybody's like, "Oh, what do you think, Tristan? How is he going to do?" I'm like, he's 12th overall pick. End of the day, he's going to be a rookie. We'll see what happens. Obviously, he put a lot of those questions to bed early and has continued through last year, through all the way through this year, playing at a very high level and playing with that confidence. And it definitely shows.
Thanks, Ryan.
We'll go to Jen and Lane. If any media have questions, please raise your hand.
Hey, Ryan, I'd asked Rob this question earlier. I'm kind of asking a few people this. When you're preparing for the playoffs with Tom, he's already so detail oriented and locked into those P's and Q's during the regular season, but it seems like he takes it up a notch even in the postseason. What is that like from your vantage point?
Yeah, I think it just for everything, everything's, it's one or done. You either win or you go home. And I think having your attention to detail amped up even more is huge. And Tom obviously brings that. He's always very detail oriented, but it seems like, going through the playoffs with him last year and then obviously starting the playoffs this year, it gets amped up a little bit. And it's obviously worked for him in his career and worked for us last year. So that added little push and focus is huge.
I know he'll say a lot of things to skill players, make sure you have your head up on this play because I'll be coming to you on this one, or I might be coming to you on this one, or, there's no such thing as a dead route on this particular play. Does he ever do that with you guys in particular? I know obviously you guys have a lot on your plate in terms of protections and things like that. Is he ever giving you guys reminders in that regard?
Yeah, there's a lot of different things that go on, for the communication between me and Tom, and then obviously the communication to the rest of the guys. But yeah, there's always small little reminders how we're going to do certain things, certain weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, by the naked eye, you can't tell what it was or what the adjustment was. But there's always little things that we're trying to improve on, and pick up a blitz this way, or not necessarily pick up a blitz, or there's so many small, minute details that. He kind of reminds us throughout the week, and then usually on game day, there's not a ton of reminders, but every once in a while there's a little adjustment in game.
Thanks.
We'll go to John Ledyard.
Hey, Ryan. Justin told us a couple weeks ago, maybe closer to the beginning of the season, that you guys a couple weeks into the season started like some extra Friday meetings, going over the run game and making sure everybody on the team kind of understood. Can you describe this a little bit, like without getting too technical, and I don't want to give away game plans or anything, but like what those meetings have been like, who started those, and how those have helped you guys?
Yeah, it was kind of a joint discussion between a couple of us. Obviously, Tom was kind of the one leading it. And what it is just making sure everybody's on the same page. It's just kind of a player only kind of reminder meeting on how we see things. And throughout the year, it's helped a lot and helped make sure everybody's on the same page, which is huge in football, because if you have one guy who's not on the same page, most of the time you're gonna have a dead play. So yeah, that's really all it is. It's nothing earth shattering that we're doing in there. It's just a little reminder period just between the players.
Thanks, Ryan.
We'll go to Kevin O'Donnell.
Hey, Ryan, what do you remember from the last meeting with the Eagles? Obviously, you jumped out to a big lead in that game and kind of let them crawl back into this game. But how different are they right now? And what did you maybe kind of learn from them back then that you can apply this week?
Yeah, I think, the first game we kind of jumped out on them early, and we kind of relaxed maybe a little bit on offense and took the pedal off the floor. But looking at them now, they're playing a very confident style of football on both sides of the ball. But their defense has always been playing throughout the year, has been playing really hard. Their front seven's very talented, and they have their interior D linemen are very stout and good players. Obviously with Fletcher, a perennial all Pro Bowl type player leading that defense. So they're a hard playing team. They play physical and play fast. So that's obviously always a challenge for any offense.
And how different is the playoff run going to be this year with fans in the stands? Obviously, you didn't have to deal with that last year, and you were able to play on the road without that distraction. But to have the first two games potentially here at home, how different is that going to be?
I think it's huge, from not having to travel, but having that energy in the stadium. It's amazing. I know every time we play at home, the crowd's always going hard for us. And going on the road last year, having no fans in the stands, it was really strange, and it was hard to get kind of your mojo and that energy out of the stadium. So having fans back in the stands, really all year has made the game a lot more enjoyable and a lot more energetic. So I think just having the fans is gonna make it a lot more energetic.
Go to Tom Akins.
Hey, Ryan, from time to time this year, pre-snap penalties have been a problem for the ball club. How can you avoid falling back into that trap for the first game of the playoffs?
I think it just comes down to focus. Whenever you have a pre-snap penalty, it's from lack of focus or lack of communication. So staying on top of communication and staying focused honestly takes care of that.
And last question will come from Sarah Walsh.
Ryan, Bruce was talking about earlier wanting to have balance and get that run game going. And I'm just curious, we haven't seen Leonard Fournette in a couple of weeks. You guys are around him. How confident do you feel like you guys can establish that and get that going out there? And have you had conversations with him recently? Like, is Lenny feeling good?
Yeah, I think, Lenny has been in the training room working his butt off and getting ready for, to get back and get healthy and get, come help us, win some more playoff games. Obviously last year going into the playoffs, we really established a run and played a pretty balanced style of football. I think getting back to the run game and doing what we're doing in the passing game is going to complement itself very well.
All right, that's all we have time for. Appreciate you taking the time.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.